Or I'm just going to say Oakland for the next 20 years. I don't know what to do with Vegas because the Chiefs aren't going anywhere. The Broncos are spending a bunch, like Evan alluded to, with Mike McGlinchey and company, and Sean Payton's putting a bunch of resources in the offensive and defensive line like he did in New Orleans. But, I mean, the Chargers aren't going anywhere. Herbert was just in the playoffs. Like, they're right there. I don't know what to do with the Raiders and where they're actually at and what Jimmy actually does for them. What do you think he does, and do you see this being an actual upgrade over Derek Carr and the Derek Carr you saw in McDaniels' scheme last year?
I thought Carr was pretty rough. I'm not too high on him, but I don't think people are wrong in thinking this is a pretty lateral move. Now, if it's what you want to do, okay, fine. If you like Garoppolo better than Carr, if you're Josh, fair enough, do your thing, and you probably save a little bit of money long-term doing it. Derek Carr's contract was getting pretty ridiculous there towards the end. But what does this mean for them? Well, they're still in the AFC, unfortunately. And there's a lot of teams that I think are a lot better off. You've still got Adams, who's still himself. But, man, I don't know. I'm honestly worried for them that how many full seasons has Jimmy Garoppolo ever played? 2? 1? I think the injury risk is really, really high with them. So I don't know. I'm not that high on them yet. If this is a move that they make and then they go do a bunch of other things, fair enough. Okay, I can understand that. I don't think this stops me from thinking they can improve as a team. But if this is the thing that they do, if they're like, we're going to go from Derek Carr to Jimmy Garoppolo and that's our move, I think it's time for McDaniels to get out of there relatively soon.
Do you think they still take a quarterback in the top 10 or no?
They could take Levis if they really wanted to. I mean, they would have to trade up to 3 if they want anybody but Levis at this point, I would guess.
So you think it's going 1, 2, 3 quarterback to start the draft?
I think if the Cardinals move that pick, it absolutely is, because I know the Panthers are taking one, I know the Texans are taking one, and I know the Colts are taking one. So it's going to go 3 quarterbacks before they get a chance to pick unless they move up. Now, maybe their strategy is we're going to move up to 3 and we're going to take Anthony Richardson and let him sit behind Garoppolo. That could be possible. I thought that he would want to take a quarterback for the sake of buying himself some time. If you go get a veteran and you're bad again this year, you may be gone after 2 seasons. If you go get a rookie quarterback and he shows some life and you hit on that, I think that buys you a little bit more time as a coach, because people don't want to okay, you have this new quarterback 6 games and then you switch out the whole offense and you want to at least see what he can do with that guy. So if I were him, I'd be going after a quarterback possibly, but if I were him, I probably also wouldn't have spent all this money on Garoppolo if I were going QB round 1.
Yeah, the Raiders aren't there's not going to be some immense change because of Jimmy Garoppolo. There is synergy there because Jimmy obviously was, Josh McDaniels was his offensive coordinator when Jimmy obviously notoriously has won 2 Super Bowl rings, as everyone knows.
Many people do forget that.
Yes, Jimmy's 2 Super Bowl winning quarterback. But that team is a kind of a dumpster fire, especially considering that Josh McDaniels is supposed to be an offensive genius. I think, Josh Jacobs is a good thing for any quarterback to have, and Davante Adams, but Davante Adams came there to play with Derek Carr, and he's gone now. So I'm still not very convinced that Davante Adams is going to stay, let alone, I think the Raiders are either going to punt this season entirely, and they're like, Jimmy, you can hang out for it, or maybe we see some pretty significant moves over the next 24, 48 hours, maybe even further. We're like, okay, at least they're going to make an effort. But I do think that Jimmy will be better for the team than Derek Carr by a long shot. He's just mentally the kind of quarterback he is, the way he gets along with everyone, the team vibes. He's just going to go in and do his job and be quiet. And it's a very big difference than old I've got a country accent even though I grew up in Fresno, California, Derek Carr.
This also opens the door, and this is important, Evan, for you and I. Jimmy G now being a Las Vegas Raider. Matt, you know this. The Blue Wire Studios. The Wynn Studios out there in Vegas. It's time for the worlds to collide. Jimmy G just making a little trip over for Evan and I to do a pod with Jimmy G. Vegas. This is driving me nuts. Vegas Raider legend Jimmy Garoppolo.
And that's the thing. Everyone wants to make jokes about like, oh, the porn star, now he's in Vegas, but like the reality is Jimmy is the most quiet, most reserved. Like doesn't like all he cares about is hanging out with his brothers and his friends, and like he's never going out in public for any reason. Like this guy is not going to be some like out on the town Vegas socialite. Like he's going to like go to like clubs when like his teammates want him to go because he's a good teammate. But you'll never see like Jimmy out at like Gordon Ramsay's steakhouse at 3:00 in the morning or anything like that. Like you'll probably see him less now because it's Vegas.
Well, I wonder if he'll still do Subway commercials. I don't know if there are Subways in Vegas. I've never been. Are there Subways in Vegas? Can he still keep doing those?
I would assume there is. I've been a couple of times, but I haven't gone to Subway when I'm there, so I couldn't tell you for sure.
Okay. It's like saying, are there McDonald's in Vegas? They're everywhere.
It's true. Chicken Bacon Ranch, it always hit. I have not had Subway in a long time, but that was always clutch. I might get that after this. Y'all just reminded me. I might just go over there. There's a Subway right across the street from my house. Matt, we need to talk about the trade between the Panthers and the Bears. You had a good tweet that I liked where I was talking to a buddy over the weekend about it. And I was like, yeah, he's a fan of the Panthers, stay up on. And I was like, but he said something that